Poor to be rich?
And poor to be rich. Because when you're poor, you get the old. Yeah.
And now you got rich.
Yeah. It's better.
But now you're richer than yourself.
That part.
For the poor.
Oh, we're live.
And we are live.
And you have just eavesdropped onto our coffee and conversation. The reason that we show up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just to make you a part of our daily ritual. Okay? It is so spiritual, honey, because when we leave, our spirits are so high. So I hope you have spiritual rituals that keep you elevating and letting go so that you can overflow. Good God Almighty. Letting go so that you can overflow, right? That's the name of go. Yes.
Looks like another love chicken.
And so having people that you can pour and release and give your ideas, because there'll be many ideas if you have it. So just to have a person or persons if you're lucky, right? I got persons. I was talking from the bedroom to the kitchen table when I get to my bestie cousin. So I'm like with my best man, my best friend, my hubby. Then I can go into the conversation with my cousin. But it's like you should have people in your life that, inspires you to think out loud. Because you find that your thoughts are so precious.
Yes,
precious thoughts from the soul is what we call them.
Yes, they are.
Precious thoughts from the soul.
And you always want to share it with somebody.
Yeah.
And if you have somebody to share it with, oh, how wonderful.
And so again, we say, good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you. It is an early morning. I woke up extra early this morning. I don't know why I was up so early.
Girl, I was up too.
You was up too? And then it's like, but I didn't do nothing. Now I'm like tired. I'm like, I need an afternoon nap. Good morning, Arthur L. Good morning.
Good morning, lady. Why I felt this little thing near me and Byron was like this. By the bed. And I was like,
that makes me think about a video of Rondell.
I was like, jumped up.
Did Rondell send me that video?
What video? I was like, boy, then I've been up ever since.
Oh my God. That's what I said. I was up. That's why I said this coffee is about to be good. I haven't even
what the F?
Sink my let me get some.
You didn't get a sip yet.
I didn't sip that. I didn't even sip it.
Girl.
I told you I was in my conversation. We was deep in thought.
What the hell? You got your coffee, girl. You got your coffee. Coffee. Oh, yeah.
So we was talking about...
Like, I need a different flavor.
Yeah, that's so good. Doesn't it do something? Well, I like it a lot because I'm a cappuccino, hot chocolate type of girl. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yes, honey, vanilla caramel. That is like my favorite flavor for coffee. Yeah, just
like the good sweet.
And but because I was always a hot chocolate type of girl, I never drank coffee. I told you until one time, Chef Ron brought some in, and I'm like, I don't drink no coffee because I just can't get past the taste. That's why I didn't ever drink alcohol. I couldn't get past the taste until I made a potion. Now it's like, oh, it's good. Like I'm never gonna be eating something disgusting just to be a part of the team, unless it's good for me, right?
Oh, so yeah, like what's the stuff we been out of? Misha, we need some more.
What I gotta put in?
I got cream. What's the stuff you put in Weebly?
You talking about the moss, sea moss, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, that sea moss is so good. It is really, and we was putting that in our coffee.
You got that cinnamon taste to it, so.
No, I'm saying it's good for you. Mm-hmm. And so when us putting it in, we don't taste it. By putting in the coffee, it's like, But taking a spoon a day is very good. Like if you have it, and it's like applesauce, but not. So it gives the consistency of applesauce if you've never had sea moss. But it's like very bland applesauce, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it got like this.
Yeah. So because you're used to that flavor of the apple, you might be like. But I say, I ain't even gonna say it. I'll make me some sea moss and then do it.
Flavors in it, right?
Yeah, but if I make sea moss sauce, that's good. But
because you love applesauce.
Because I love applesauce.
You be eating that applesauce, girl. was asking what's the topic. Okay. You said.
It's winning wealthy, Wellthy Wednesday, yes. Right? How you winning out here is the topic. So let me get on here.
How you winning out here?
How you winning out here? WW.
How you winning out here, y'all? Do you still have some? Oh yeah, girl. Yes, we do. Sure do, Manda. Oh yeah, Manda. We still got some gold. Slinging me out here, girl. So I'm about to go share on TikTok again, so we could let the people in on there. But how y'all doing? Hey, yeah, what the hell? Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Nancy. Good. Oh, you know Nancy waits for her song. Hold on. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Boo.
Good morning, Pooh. We love you more. Look. Hey, Misha. Yo, Misha.
Yeah, we need some more sea moss. We was just talking about that.
Yes, honey. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Oh, yeah.
Agave makes everything better. I'm telling you, I'm about to start because I'm going back on my healthy living. I know better, and I'm like so healthy far off. Honey. I gotta lose like 15 pounds.
Well, she gonna lose and I'm gonna gain them.
And Kia gonna try to gain when I'm losing, okay?
I looked at these hips the other day, girl. I said they getting ridiculous.
Yep. Not just get ridiculous, y'all. I'm done with Kia. Kia has waited her whole life to be able to, yes.
Say something like that.
Yeah. She's waited her whole life. Yeah, just turn it like. That's good.
I still gotta crack my.
Yeah, Kia has waited her whole life to get them hips, baby.
Huh. Yeah.
Tilt it like this a little bit so it don't look sideways, like we falling. Like go to the right a little bit. To your right. Yeah. A little bit more. Yeah. So we'll just flatten it out.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, honey.
So hello on YouTube.
It is.
Hey, bud. Hello on Survivor the Survivor group page. And what other page am I on?
We are on YouTube.
Hello to my personal friends. Your personal friends. Yeah.
Now we on TikTok. I'm bringing y'all live.
Hey TikTok, how y'all doing?
In the morning.
We doing today is Winning Wellthy Wednesday. How are you winning and what makes you wealthy? And the way I mean wealthy is WELLTHY. What makes you wealthy in your wellness? What makes you wealthy in the ability for somebody to drink and not be contaminated by what is in your reservoir, right? And so
what you spitting out.
Well, that part, what you spitting out.
Giving out.
What makes you wealthy in that regard, and how you are fruitful in your pouring, right? And making sure it's purified, right? Sometimes it got to go through a filter. And so we were just talking about how proud I am of me on how much better I've gotten with my filter.
Right? So much better, honey.
And so adulting
she don't react anymore.
More responding, right? Now I don't win every time, but way more times than I used to be winning in reacting versus responding. And it's really because of these coffee and conversations. Like God literally was speaking through me, and I had to go and hit the replay and was like, wow, what a difference it is when you think about the times that you reacted and the times that you responded, and how one just always was better outcome, right? So even if you're going to be friends in the end, i.e. especially being in a married relationship, it was better to, I got the concept when we was doing the perspective with the Paulins on Clubhouse. One of the topics was, the positive and negative, what we add in our relationships, right? And understanding that if life is like that time in math where you get the positive, negative chart, and you learn the difference between positive and negative. And I said, so if you're in a relationship and it's a negative, right? Somebody's yelling, somebody's mad, somebody's confused, somebody's feeling disrespected, and they're the first person that felt that way, right? Now, in the other part of the relationship, if you look at it as that time chart, if I come in with the same negative energy, you learn that on a chart, if zero's here, positive here, negative is there. If I am at a -3 and I come in with another -3, I'm going to end up at -6.
Negative begets
right?
more
So
negative.
even way more down from ground zero. Okay? So we digging deep, right?
You get more negative.
That's why I say you gotta go
negative.
deep to get well. Because to find a well is deep. So life will have so many negative effects that take you deeper, 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 deeper.
One after the other, yes.
Until you grab hold of and control your fate by controlling your emotions, i.e. now when you are -3, I add a +3 and at least we on the ground.
Right.
Now we at 0 in a relationship. And then you add let's say -2, but I done learned so well how to meet you where you are. Now I'm adding a +5. Okay. Now we in a 2 now. We off of ground 0 and 2.
Yeah.
So now love grows everything. And so, like they say, kill them with kindness. Mm-hmm. If I go at you with the same thing, it's like, okay, we in a fight. And I came to fight because everybody has been through so many wars in their life. So it feels like emotional warfare, right? It's a warfare, right? And so you feel like you're going through. So you already come in with your, your dukes up. You ready. Yeah. You about that life. And so it takes a very conscious person to literally stop and be like, I don't have to react anymore. I can respond, right? Because when two touch and agree, it is so. So instead of me thinking you said one thing, why not I address the thing that was inside of me that allowed me to touch and agree to make it a real thing, because it has to touch and agree. So if I don't believe it, then I don't receive it. So that when I begin to believe it, now I'm receiving it at a way that now it's like, what's going on here? And so really being wealthy is being conscious enough to learn in your relationships to respond and not react, because you make the difference. Right. And so you could either be adding or subtracting because you make the difference. Right. And so when we love people, when we respect people, when we honor people, then we are very conscious of the difference we make. And that's what winning wealthy, WELLTHY, mean, because to be wealthy the way everybody else is running about to do, it scars you. WEAL means to be scarred. Die scarred, right? And so we speak of these words because we see what they have, but we don't realize the process that got them into the moment that we just see, the fruits of their labor, right? But they can be so poor in their relationships, even though they seem to be wealthy in their finances, right? And so that's why the scars that happened, that occurred, that got people in these situations and in these positions. So it's like really getting to a place where you could be accountable to how you feel and stop making it about everybody else. Because you can hear whatever you want to hear. It's all about, is the glass half empty or half full? Are you always trying to prove that somebody's always out to get you? Or are you always trying to prove that somebody wants your best interest? Right. What are you trying to prove? And it starts with you mentally. Yes. Depending on, are you always defending? Yes. Or are you always making a point? Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to be heard. Yeah. Are you more chill, laid back? Like, it don't even matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people is like everything matters. Whatever you saying, it matters because I'm ready for the smoke, or I'm ready to defend, or I'm ready to counter react what you saying. Yeah. Like, so I'm not really even listening to what you really saying. I'm just already on the go. Yeah. Like what you so what you was saying? Oh, so what you trying to say is right. And I'm saying so guilty of that, right? Guilty. How many people guilty with me? Yeah. So guilty of defending the last situation, defending the last part. That's why they say forgiveness starts with you, because once I forgive myself in the moment where I allow, then I understand the red flags and not allow it, in the next place, but I'm still open to a new experience. And when we're holding on to what he said, she said, they did, when did, then we're not really going in with that open, honest, wealthy, WEL, meaning I can pour in you. I'm not contaminated. I have filtered myself because I'm not taking it personal. I'm taking it process. And when we stop taking life personal and start to take it more so like a process, then we can filter our thoughts and we can release the shame of our past, and we can let go of the things we cannot change, and we can forgive people for being human, for not knowing, because we are human and we don't know. We can really not take it personal and, move in that regard in a winning type of
really
attitude.
Open up to understand why are you saying what you're saying, because maybe I don't understand why you're saying that. So I'm so like, who you, what? And it's like, what would make you say that? Why did you just say that? Mm-hmm. So it's like more of an explanation to be understood. I need more explaining to be understood, not just assuming that's what you mean. Or it's like, why would you say that? Where is that coming from? Like, because there's always something underlying or something that didn't get dealt with the last time that continues on or piles up in another situation another time.
Yes.
And it's like, oh yeah, so now I'm extra getting the smoke because I'm like, oh yeah, and okay, so you back on that. Because we ain't never cleared the air with that, and there's a pile on. So it's like, you know what?
That is so true.
So I'm diseased inside because
diseased inside.
It's a blow up situation. That's what winds up happening. And your mind, body, and soul. Period. See what I'm saying?
It is, and it's so hard. It's really hard because
one thing begots the other thing, begets the other thing, and
it's so hard because we are human, and being human, we have feelings, and the feelings were introduced from people, places, and things, right? And so we get in our feelings because that just means I got in my memory. That's why God says, "Ooh, my God." That's why He says to renew your mind daily. Because to get in your feelings means you got into your memories, right, of yesterday. And so I remember when this happened. I remember when this happened. And it puts you in your feelings, right? And the one thing about living life is that you have the ability to move forward. You have the ability to choose you in such a way that you can really impact yourself in such a high vibrational type of experience. But it's really choices. And so when God says you have the power to choose.
You got to go towards the light,
Caroline. To the light, Caroline. I swear.
The back, don't go back in time. Go towards the light, Caroline. I mean, why we want to go to we ain't going towards the back no more. We going towards the front these days. Now.
I'm telling you.
Now.
And we have to be
living in the past.
We have to be intentional in how we travel, in the condition of our soul's posture while we're doing it, right? Because that makes the difference.
That part.
That's the vibration, right? And so to have a winning, wealthy experience or lifestyle is to basically be in the wheel. So when we say winning, we talk about, being in the wheel, right? To be intentional, right? But to be wealthy is, again, to clean the contaminated parts of your reservoir. We are made 70% of water, which means that, 70% made water, and water holds memories, which means we are merely but a walking testimony, right? Experiences. And when we renew our minds, we give ourselves the opportunity to live in a new experience. Therefore, now what happens to us when we live in a new experience? We create a new memory to go in and start to clean what old traumas and old things that have happened to us, right? And so you got to imagine that from the time you get 18, you get to choose everything in your life, right? Now nobody can even sign your name. So regardless of what you choose to do at 18, at this point, technically you got to sign your own signature. You give your own self permission to do everything. And so with that being said, once I have the right to give myself permission, 18 years, most of our adult life, we are dealing with the traumas that have occurred, the traumas that, that we're trying to fix, right, as an adult. So we're going back to save the little boy, little girl that we used to be, right? And so when we're doing that, now 18 up until who you are today was your opportunity to refill that reservoir that is your tank, to revive the memories that were created so that you can understand that it was meant for you, that you were processing into your promise, right? But until you take the initiative to pour the clean water, right? Wealthy experiences, wealthy relationships, and better choices. Right. Because it's a me thing.
With better stuff, better memories, and don't nobody control that but you. Because it's your life, it's your choices, it's your yeses, it's your no's that's determining how are those memories and things going to be filled with the ones you want it to be. And if you don't want it to be, then stop what it is that you're saying yes to and allowing. Because so obviously it's giving you more of them negative feelings and negative memories and negative thoughts. So how are you being well with yourself? How are you winning being well? You got to start really, asking yourself that and working towards that.
Right. Correct. I can agree. And I want to tap into what our put says.
Yes.
Queen Misha. She says, nope, some people are just mean and evil and don't like you for no reason. So I'm learning to pay them nothing. I'll keep shining. That's true. That's true. But what's so good about that is if you pay them nothing, then you don't lose nothing. But sometimes people interact and pour the energy in, and then they further contaminate because all it does is confirm the negative thoughts or feelings that maybe somebody else put in them when they're in those spaces and places. And so if you are strong enough to actually be in the room or in a place and not take it personal and just take it process, man, you are living in such a conscious world. And that's what the goal is for all of us. And that's how we master our own reality, like you're doing, Boo, is because if I allow you to dictate my feelings or what you say, or I know that you're just mean and evil and you just have no good intention, then of course, but I won't take it personal. I won't take what you did to me to the point where now I'm overly guarded for the next person that's coming, because now not only did I not forgive you, but I didn't forgive myself because I let you get me, right? And I don't want to be God again, right? So it's like putting a bulletproof vest on you, right? So now I'm showing up to every place like bullets is flying. Could you imagine if I put on my bulletproof vest to go into a ball over my thing because of where I just came from? Well, that's what we do in our relationships. In our relationships, it's like you were in an area where you needed to be heavily guarded and you needed that bulletproof vest. But when you left that area and you went into a new area that was maybe not shooting, is no shots fired yet, you came in already guarded. And so the energy went off because it's like, oh, well, why are you wearing that? Who's shooting over here? Where you came from? So now it's so many questions because in that process, you haven't let go. And so you kind of pushed it into your new environment. And so you went with a guard up.
That part.
And it's hard to get, right? You don't want to make yourself vulnerable, but to get and to receive, in both instances, you got to be open for something to come in and for something to go out. And so the hardest thing is after somebody has unconsciously stolen from you, right? Because, they didn't know. That's just their developmental skills. They lack a certain, what they say, oomph. Maybe they lack a certain oomph because of the environment that they were bred up in, right? You are but a mere example of your environment. That's why, that is why I think it's a Dr. Maya Angelou who used to say, if you know better, then you do better. So that means that because I didn't know, I couldn't flow. I was damned if I do. I was damned if I don't. Like something was blocking me from moving forward. And so it's about really, we don't get enough time before we feel wounded to know what environment somebody just left, because that takes relationships, that takes conversation. And so we may take it personal because we don't understand the environment that they left. And so, I give an example, me and my husband, right? Because I was so overly guarded with my kids, he thought, oh, you don't want to go nowhere. You just want to be with your kids, because he didn't know I left an environment where I was molested as a child. And so I was overly guarded. And so he just thought that I just wanted to run everything and be overprotective because it wasn't the environment that he was in. So I was overly guarded without having gone through the whole conversation of why I was overly guarded. So from the outside looking in, it just appeared that I was overzealous, overprotective. It got to be my way. And you just don't even want to go nowhere. You just want to be over there with them and I'm over here. That's how it was received to him because of history, right? Or her story, as they say. So because of my story and me not having that proper conversation, right? Removing the shame and getting in my lane, it created a barrier, a misunderstanding, because what I was doing made sense from my environment. From his environment, what I was doing didn't make sense. It didn't align with his experiences, so it wasn't a part of his download, right? Because we but computers, right? It's not in your DNA, it's in your CNA, as I say, is what you see. And so because it wasn't in his CNA, it wasn't a part of his experience, he couldn't even download that information. So it was never even on a list of why she could be overprotective, or it wasn't on his list. He didn't even know that this existed. And so what I find is that when we take stuff personal before we get to understand the background of people's experiences, we lack the ability, and then we end up carrying a scar or an extra piece of luggage that we've taken as a personal piece. You ever get to the airport and they're like, wait a minute, this thing is way too heavy, and this is your personal bag, and it can only weigh this much, and you have to pay this much more to go onto the flight? Well, that's like life. In order for us to take up to the next level, God is saying, listen, your bag is way too heavy right now. And if I put you on the plane, it'll bring it down, because you got one too many pieces that don't belong to you that you're carrying in your personal luggage, because you took that situation personal, and it wasn't personal. It was just processed.
With you.
And you're carrying it when it was just a learning curve. You had to learn so that you can set a boundary so that you knew better, but it wasn't for you to take it personal. It was for you to take it processed. And I think that's the importance of becoming wealthy. Wellthy.
And all that she said is the reason why they don't like you. So when people, for me, when people say people like me for no reason, no. There's always a reason. Mm-hmm. You feel like there's no reason, but you're not the one who don't like you. You're not the one with the issue. So you're going to say it's for no reason, because you can't understand what the reason is, because they haven't told you. Mm-hmm. But there is a reason. So I always, like you say, people are dealing with past traumas, past things that when they look at you, it reminds them of it. Or something that you have, or your confidence. It can be anything. It could be how you show up for yourself. It could be how you speak up for yourself. Maybe they wish they could be like that. Maybe they don't understand how could you be like that, because they wasn't never like that, and they would love to be like that. So it's always a reason. People do things for reasons. When people are honest about things, then you would always know the reason.
That's so good.
And
that's real
the problem, I always say, if people was honest, then we will all know the reason. But there's always a reason.
Yes.
But people
there is always a reason. That's so good.
I don't like you
that's
because
so good.
You look damn good in that outfit, and sometimes I put on shit, and I just be like, I hate the way I look. Why my arms gotta jiggle? I'm insecure with me. How many people gonna say that?
Yeah, that's good, Kia.
But if people could just own
Accountability.
Their stuff,
get account with yourself.
Mental health would be so much greater because people that we just ain't doing it. Yeah. Girl, you came in the room and your confidence was just through the roof, and I was like, "What she thinks she is?"
Yes. Yeah.
Right, but nobody gonna say that. I think I would. I'm just me though, right? Because I don't see it as I'm just girl. You came in here shining like the light. What you ate this morning? Because I was over here dragging. I didn't want to be here. But that's me.
Yeah.
And people gotta release stuff, and it's how people hold on to stuff. There's always a reason. Trust me. You just don't know the reason, but you feel like people just for no reason. Yeah. Trust me, there's always a reason. So when people like you just don't like me for no reason, girl, it's a reason. You just don't know. It
is.
And they ain't gonna tell you if they ain't gonna be honest with it. And it's like you don't like me. I just need to know why you don't like me. And then how many people even really ask that?
Yeah.
You just in your own head, and it's like, I don't know, she don't like me. Her energy ain't right around me, but I just don't understand. And the person I'll be like, I feel like you just don't vibe with me, and I'm trying to understand why. What is it about me that why we don't vibe together? Like people don't have them. People don't say stuff like that. They just go about their business and hold them thoughts, hold them questions, hold all of that inside instead of getting to the root of the question. What is it?
Good.
Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. But you only can get somewhere if you're gonna be honest.
And once again, when you say get into the root, it's to dig deeper.
Correct. It's always an underlying. Okay, so where did that attitude come from? Okay, because something begot something. Because this begot is on my head.
That begot did
it means dig deeper. That thing going well, girl. Something beget
something. Grand Rising Queen.
Good morning.
Or Heavenly Hands in Charlotte.
Come on.
Let's say that.
Jane.
Jane. Oh, that's Jane. Hey.
Hey, boo.
Heavenly Hands. Oh, I like that.
Come on, Heavenly Hands. Yes.
So that's why I'm like. But I wanted to play on that root. I want to play on that root because Kia ran right into us saying what in the beginning what a well is, right? To be wealthy, in the way I say it, thy well, WELLTHY, is like she said, we got to get to the root of the problem. And anytime you're getting to the root of the problem, you're digging deep, right? Because even to get to a well, you got to dig deep to get to the water, to get to that reservoir, to hit that part, right? It's deep. And so to get to the root of the problem is deeper than what it looks like, right? It's more to it. When you like you say, one thing is a blowout, and then you're in an argument that's going back 5 years.
When you was a child.
And you're like, wait. I'm talking about even in a relationship, right? You ever get to an argument and it go back 5 years and you're thinking you're in a twilight zone because you hit a nerve, right? Because when you get in a root canal, because the nerve has been hit, and you gotta go deep. Come on now, and you be like, right? They gotta go when they giving you a root canal. They gotta go into that nerve. They gotta cut that nerve. They gotta go deep to cut the nerve so that you cannot feel the pain. Then they gotta go back and cap it because guess what? The tooth is now destroyed. And if you can't pay for the cap, you eventually gonna lose that tooth after a couple of popcorn experiences. If you can't afford the cap, let's just talk about it.
Just pull it, doc.
You know, but they convince you they can save it.
It costs money to save it.
Listen, they convince you can save it.
You gonna pay for it,
and they go all the way to the root. They get the nerve out. So now you can tolerate
the nerve
as you operate because you don't have the nerves no more. Come on now. So when you get to the root of the problem, you cut the nerves out so that anytime something's going on, it don't continue to bother you.
So you become numb.
So come on now. Yes.
You go numb, and then all these feelings inside ain't
right. Well, you know what? It's not that you go numb, it's that they no longer exist. The nerve is no longer there. See, the problems that we get into,
you don't feel it no more.
No, the reason why we have problems in our relationship is because people get on our nerves. Let's just face it. Anytime you have an outburst, something they're doing is getting on a nerve. Period. Point blank.
Everybody.
Right? I mean, even the person you with.
Like, girl, shut up.
We're not even going to talk. We won't even talk about the people that you fall in and out of relationship with. Let's say the person you've been in a relationship for years. Let's go to your mate, right? Because once we heal relationships amongst each other, then everybody else gonna be happier. If the relationships were happy, all our friendships be happy because nobody be jealous of nobody be hating on nobody. People would just be celebrating each other. So if we heal relationships, we heal everything else. Because when that person come into work with that attitude, they probably got into an argument with somebody that they're in a relationship with, i.e. your kids and i.e. your daggone mate, right? Somebody that matters a lot to you got on your what? Your nerves. That means that somewhere you got a bad tooth. And you haven't gotten the root canal to remove that irritation. So every time y'all get into a misunderstanding, it goes into a acceleration. You're fighting because you haven't got to the root of the problem, and they always hit the nerve. And when they hit the nerve, kid, what they do?
Like you plucking.
It puts you in instant shock to go into what?
Like when that cold hit your tooth.
Come on now. So let's think about it, right? So let's think about it. When I get to the root of the problem, I destroy that nerve.
Pull that root up from the ground.
Right?
Honey.
From the ground.
From the root.
Like the weeds that's in the book, right? 365. If you don't get I remember growing up, my mama, when she used to put us outside to get them weeds out, she said, don't cut it down. Oh, no. If you don't pull that up from the root, it'll appear to be gone. But the minute enough rain and sun comes, it's going to grow right back up, bigger, stronger than it's ever been.
You miss me, don't you? Here I go.
Here I go. But when you pull it up from the root, when you take it out and you can see the dirt and all the little things going a million different ways, because when you look at a root of a weed, come on now, because those issues in your life are weeds that keep on strangling your flowers, your roses, your garden. Everybody knows, a good gardener knows that they don't want weeds in their garden. It takes away from the beauty. It takes away from the survival. It takes away from the potential actually return on your investment if you're into come on farming. So now when you don't get to the root of the problem or you don't pull it out, then just when you going, just when life seems good, you drink that cold thing and you in shock and acting like the shock.
You ain't feel that in a minute. You like, oh, I gotta go to the dentist. Oh,
right?
I ain't feel like it.
So now in a relationship, it's just you clapping back is the phrase they use, right? We clap back. That means you trigger, I reacted, I clap back. That means you haven't dealt with the root of your problem, which is why people always getting on your nerves. You ever see somebody all day, people on your nerves. All day long, people on your nerves. All your teeth is bad. Everybody, every single body on your nerves. You ain't got one good tooth in your mouth. That's that. You got to do that work. Because if you don't go to the dentist and fix your own mouth, it's going to be you the only one in problem. Them people getting on your nerve on accident, just being who they are, right? Them people getting on your last nerve, they don't even know they getting on your nerve. It's your mouth that's hurting. It's your issues that are hurting. So doing that, soul doctor, see, you got to sign up with the soul doctor because I'm going to operate on your mindset to fix those nerves. To fix those nerves. See, why you yell? Because I get crunk. You see, when God gets shut up in my bone, I get so excited.
Y'all already know.
I call that excitement.
Get crunk.
Because as I'm hearing
all
it.
my TikTokers, go follow her on Love Grows Everything. I promise you, she going to keep y'all crunk. Go follow her on Love Grows Everything on TikTok.
I just got excited of the thoughts that God has given me because I'm like, absolutely. Apply, right? Knowledge is power, but only applied knowledge is transformation. The way we transform into the person we want to be, where we're not sitting there irritated all day long, letting somebody control our life, is getting to the root of the problem, doing that internal work, right? That I choose me, that self-love. If I take care of me, then I can now take care of you organically, authentically. in a fresh, filtered way where I'm not pouring my dirty, muddy water on you because all of my stuff is contaminated, that I've gone through a process of filterization because I don't take it personal, but I take it process because I understand how it goes, that if you're getting on my nerves, it's something wrong with me and it's something I need to fix in me that continues to allow everybody to control and steal my destiny. So I got 100 bad days because my nerves, because I got to take everything personal. That's why it's self-reflection. Right? That's why I choose me, hashtag no more excuses, because I can make it about you, but until I make it about me, it's going to be me with all the toothaches.
Right. Why am I so agitated? Why is you getting on my nerves? What it is about you what is it you saying that's getting on my nerves? Okay, I got to make sure this don't happen again. Girl.
Yeah.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
1.5 seconds from slapping your ass. Don't nobody talk like that.
Not on 4.5 seconds of slapping yo.
Girl, shut up. I need a mental break. You shut up. Hold up. What you saying? Because what I'm interpreting in my head is saying this. Is that what you're saying?
We got to start asking ourselves, why do we care so much? Why do I care so much? If what you're saying ain't going to change what I'm doing, why do I care so much? That's why I have to ask myself every day.
Because I don't agree with nothing.
Why do I care so much? Listen, my husband tells me all the time, why do you care so much? And I'm like, why?
And I think
do I care so much? And once I stop, you don't care.
You just be looking like this. In my head, I'll just be looking, but your mouth be just going like this. And
I don't get. You don't
nothing
care.
filtrates in here for me. So it's like.
But you know what? It's easier. It's easier when you don't like the person.
That part,
right? It's because that's why I said we're not going to talk about the people
even
we could just X out. If it's somebody
something that I don't, I'm like, it's going like a red. It's literally in my head, to be honest. It sounds like like the frequency of a radio station, and you're trying to find the right
fine
station.
tuning.
It goes. That's how in my head for the kid it sounds. So even because. For me, I hear what you're saying. I see where you're going, and I already know what I'm saying back to you because I need you to turn that around because I see where you're going, and it's like, so I'm not even penetrating all of did you saying in me because you saying the same thing already got your point.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, So now it's like, okay,
right?
Because let me. So it's like it don't. I'm not. Penetrating the bull crap for me in my system. It's like because it's bull crap for me. You see what I mean? So I don't even hear all of it. Once I hear it, I can't even hear no more. So for me not to stop you, my internal brain says, but literally for real, my brain goes. It sounds like that to me in my head.
So, but listen,
I'm like, dang.
But when we even think about it, if we could take it in without even getting caught up, once I realize we're not on the same perspective, right?
Right, and it's like, okay.
And I see where you coming from, and I know where I'm coming from. Then the reaction, right? Mm-hmm. Because now it's like you said, in your own words. When you got halfway to the point where I understood where you were coming, and I'm like, that ain't what I'm coming from. I already know what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. So now it's not going ju. In your head is a conversation that you know what point you going to make. So it's really you telling yourself your counteraction. So again, you're in an argument because even in that, it's still convincing or persuading the other person to see it your way, which is exactly what they're doing, which is why it's like we do care because what y'all both are doing the exact same thing. They're waiting to stop you, and then you're going to say, and you're still at the same place, which is two people still feel the same exact way they did before the conversation started, except one person felt that one person was louder or more clearer in their persuasion. So it's an argument because now I'm trying if it's irrelevant because we have a right to both see, not eye to eye, what is the point of the conversation. If we really don't care, then there's no need for me to get you to understand my perspective if you already clearly got yours. And you're not hearing me and I'm not hearing you. So that's what I'm saying.
But that's when the questions start, clarity questions start. It's not me trying to tell you, it's let me clarify and make sure this is what you're saying. Because maybe I don't understand what you're saying. So now that I do, it's more like, do you hear yourself? Let me start asking questions to make sure that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing. If all of those check out, it means that y'all just don't agree on this.
Oh yeah, and I'm totally fine with that. We could agree to disagree.
And that's what just living is. But that's the point. The point is there's no need to go anywhere. We take it personal. Does that make sense?
Could you still
if you are you and I am me, and we think different, and what you're doing, as long as what you're thinking doesn't affect my life,
right,
and what I'm thinking doesn't affect your life, if that is true, then there would be no point to even argue, or because it ain't my job to make you me, and that's the point I'm trying. But the reason why we argue is because our argument is to persuade somebody into seeing it your way, which means we have not accepted, which means both people think their way is better.
That's why they're getting on your nerve.
That's why they're getting on, because somebody's on your nerve because you have told yourself that your way is better. Period. Because if I'm trying to get you to understand me, then I'm trying to persuade you to understand why what I'm saying is right. And you're trying to persuade me that what you're saying. So only thing, right. Because if both people respect it, then y'all would just move and be like, okay, that's how you think and that's how you think. But that's not how it works, because everybody, we are emotionally attached.
Some cannot just leave it like
and you
that,
can't leave it. So I'm not talking about the people who you don't have to be with day to day. I'm talking about having a winning, wealthy experience and relationship with the people that you have to be around, because you can agree to be different. Excuse me, you can agree that y'all think different. Healthy different, yeah. But it still goes to deciding that you get to be the person to decide which one's better.
Oh, for you. For you, that's your life.
But nobody's changing what you're doing because it's your life. Right. Conversation is not changing what you're doing. You're already doing what you're doing. Right. If they're trying to put, that means they just want you to do what they're doing, or you want them to do what you're doing. That's all it is. It's when we don't accept people. We're trying to make people the way we want to make it, and it becomes confusion, right? That's how I get stuck in confusing situations, because I'm like, well, why can't you do it, or why can't I do it? And it's like, winning wealthy is to allow people to go through their process without dictating how it looks, because we're not the creators of each other. And it's hard because everybody thinks that their way is the way to go. That's the only reason why we have the conversations.
Different perspective, and they can.
No, you can't give them. You have to show them. See, it ain't. People don't care.
Give it and show it.
Okay. Yeah. Because me giving is a conversation. It doesn't matter what I'm talking.
You gotta give it to me, because if you like, you good with that to me. Yeah. You give me, but outside of you showing me, when you explain and you give me a different perspective, and I could see it in my head, I'm like, that does make sense. I'm seeing it the way I'm seeing it. But when you give me a different perspective and you like, now give me an example of a real life example, not necessarily showing me, because I'm not, but you giving me visually, I can see it, and I'm like, okay, that's what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Because I'm mentally visual.
Yeah.
That you could show me physically too, but if I could visually see it in my head, then and I understand it, it's like, Yes, you know, I get time. I be like, girl.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You gave me a whole new perspective on outside of the way I'm looking at it and thinking about it. I'm like,
but again, that is what, you know, like soul doctrine or counseling and all that does. But it's still the person from the outside looking in. When it's the two people in the thing, you're too busy defending your own thing. That
you don't even
is a different conversation.
You need to open up your mind enough.
You can't because, like, from your own mouth,
from your thinking,
from your own mouth, that's the only reason why I went with that example. Because in the middle of you breaking it down from your own mouth, you said halfway through what you're saying. When I realize I see where you're going, and I'm not even going to take the trip to you to receive enough to understand why you think the way you think. Because where you're going is just going to give me an understanding of your thought process.
Yeah.
So now I can understand where to change, where there's a screw missing. Because otherwise it'll take me years to go over the whole train if it's 1 million parts. But until I get all the way to the end of your story without trying to defend why you need to be, maybe I could just fix a part on your train because I allow you to go all the way to the end so I could get your understanding, because that train is going to end up somewhere.
Everybody listen to that bull crap all this time.
That part. That's what I'm saying. Because you had already said, and that's why it's give to receive. You got to give understanding to receive understanding. And many of us don't get the understanding we need, because when we understand what we understand, we already decide that we right. We make a decision in this moment. Anything past that word, I ain't even hear no more. It's want Charlie Brown.
Because now you said all of that to get to the thing at the end. I ain't got the patience.
But you sound the same way to them. That's why I'm saying it's a no-win. Yeah. Because if both people are standing on their square, because they're both trying to get you to get it, but both people are halfway through the conversation.
Bush to get there.
So that's the same way it sounds. For you, when you talking, it's like the heavens open up, because you're saying to yourself, it's my time. Because when I make this point, it's going to be done.
Okay, clear your head and understand. Clear your head from your thoughts and your way of thinking.
But that's the same thing. Now stop.
The perspective.
And that's what
I can understand
that part. So that's the same way, because y'all get the same respect in the conversation. So when there is their turn, no matter how long it takes, if it's a relationship, you got to relate so the ship can move and you can no longer be anchored in your understanding.
Yes,
you're anchored, and that's an anchor, because you're halfway through the conversation and you're like, I'm not even moving your way. I don't care what you're saying. So that's an anchor. But a relationship has the word ship in it. And you have to relate so the ship can move. So as long as it's two people halfway through every conversation willing to be talking about how, because all they trying to prove is how we both are right, then the bridge cannot be made for y'all to get to the next side, because you're saying you're right. And everybody has a right to think they're right in their understanding, because it's their experience. They have that right. It's not audacity. It is a right. But the same right that you have when you're feeling like you're waiting for them to stop so that you could make it be plain as it can be, because you gonna make it that crystal clear, is what they're thinking. Yeah. As they're explaining to you why they feel the way they feel, and everybody's just waiting to persuade somebody instead of understanding that part. So now when you get to that, you like, oh, when you get to the end, because you listen, you don't take it personal no more. Because through the whole story, if you're listening, you can hear how much is not personal, how it's just their personal feelings because of their personal experience, because parts of their story will come out in the conversation.
Because when they start crying and sniffling or go get the knife,
oh girl, you want a whole nother type of conversation.
We get into the serious part, and now you gonna understand what I'm saying now.
That sounds
you done emotionally broke me down to go way back.
No, that sounds like one of those conversations where there's nothing to talk about.
Oh, when you start hitting that table,
somebody moving the table.
When you start making is where it hurt.
Listen.
This is where that pain came from. I gotta pay attention. Not run away. I got the really big king listening now because this is the part where
I'm
the pain came in.
Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you.
I can't.
It is hard as heck to do.
God.
And it's not even hard to do. It's really being real conscious and accountable for the energy that you are bringing. I used to love that phrase when I used to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show. It's like, the energy you bring, right? You really carry energy and really being conscious and really not taking it personal. Oh my God, really not taking it personal. We would grow leaps and bounds in our relationships because just like that, it's like I'm more open to see where you're coming from than I am to making you see it my way. Because your comfort is in understanding. Your comfort is not in changing your belief system or changing who you are or feeling like you're giving a part of yourself away. I'm more comfortable in you making room for who I am, and I'm making room for who you are, and us finding a way to coexist because we respect that we had different experiences which dictate our thoughts. Instead of being like, I was raised right, or you was raised wrong, or this should have happened, or it doesn't matter. What happened. You are who you are. And after 18, it is your responsibility to create healthy relationships for yourself by taking care of that little boy or little girl who is fighting your whole adulthood from all the things that got overlooked and missed. And so now that's what you're doing. But if we just stop and realize that now that we can set our own boundaries, we understand because we all had an experience. Many that we talk out loud, many that maybe not so much, but when we close our eyes, we can really look at the experience that we spoke about and the experience that we held to ourselves. And then we could open our eyes and think about the choices and the decisions that were made and how it really had something to do with how we walked and what we saw and what we understood and what was okay and what was allowed, because it's not in your DNA. Remember, it's in your CNA. And so your DNA is the skills and the thing that makes you great, that makes you like a part of a unit of a bloodline. But your CNA is how you develop it, how you operate in it, how it serves you, right? And so until we can learn to allow the things that we seen that didn't serve us, to let it go, to learn to communicate better, to learn and not take it personal, to be more intuitive so that we can process through things a whole lot faster, a whole lot better, then we find ourselves in these relationships where we're so busy trying to change somebody instead of understand them, because in the understanding, that's where change is made. Because once I feel accepted and I open myself up, then maybe I love you enough to try to see it your way. Because once I favor you, I want to understand what that looks like, right? And so now I want to serve you like you're serving me. And so I think that's why I say give to receive, and that we are just servants. Because to serve you is to serve your thoughts, to make sense of your reality, because even if it's different than mine. But we don't serve each other because we're so busy serving our own understanding. You know what I mean? And so we're fighting for the right to be understood instead of just serving understanding, where then you're going to get what you already dished out. So learning to not take it personal.
So the ship can move.
Because it's not that I change. I want to understand why you're going that way. And then maybe I could get on your boat and maybe you could let me drive once or twice. I get in by getting in, right? I don't get in from the outside. I get in for the inside. And so by seeing your way and understanding you and realizing that that's what trust is all about, right? It's just believing in you, even if I don't think it's going to go the way I want it to go, but I trust that your will is right? That your intention is right, because that's when God he said he know your heart. So as long as I know your intention is right, I'll bless you even in your mess, because it was your misunderstanding that got you here, not your ill intention. So because I know who you are and I understand, because I know your end before you begin, I know how you got here. So I want to place somebody who could represent me to understand you so that I could just take you further.
You know what? You know I'm always going to be somewhere else. That's how, when you be watching them movies, them people study people. They follow them. They research them. They follow them to get to know who they are, get to know their past, get to really understand who they are, so that they go embody them off their feet. And it's like, I came and I swooped you, and it's like, where you come from? I learned you. We be in relationships and we don't even do that. Yeah. And that's how come people get, you watch them movies every time you talking, and I'm like, ooh, you ain't lying. Take the time to get to know people, understand people, and you can get any and everything you want, because you embody in them. And it's like, everything seems so like, how do you, I understand.
And you think from their thoughts.
I understand. And it's like,
so I can. How
did you know I like red? How did you, girl, I studied you. Yeah. We don't study. Oh my good. See, I like to just sit back when you talk, because all this stuff start coming in my head. I'm like, I could see it. See,
it's visual. You gotta make it visual. Yeah.
Study to show
thyself approved. Girl, you got to approved. See what I'm saying? Study to show thyself approved.
We just did that with our
because we thought studying was the Bible, but the Bible is basic instruction before living. It's stories. It's stories, right? It's testimonies, right? You're studying their mannerism. You're studying what they did, what Job did in the face of losing everything. So you're actually studying how people operate under high what's the word? Scrutiny, or under pressure, or or what they did. So it's just the stories that people are telling you, so that you can relate it to your life and have faith, freedom after insight to higher self. Because let me tell you something, God didn't give Noah an ark. He made him build an ark. He gave him a thought to build a boat that can carry. He spoke to him, right? To his flesh, to his soul, because he understands that you're a visionary. And I give you vision. That's the sight behind your eyes. But I gave you a body so that you can manifest the things, because you are now covered in the flesh. You are earthly. So only in heaven do your thoughts manifest and just become, right? He spoke the whole world. But in earth, I must put you in a body so that you have the tools to actually walk it out. That's why you walk into your destiny, right? And so I give you the thing that will collaborate with your thoughts in order for you to create. And so that's what life is all about, is what it is that you see, think you can create it. But you do that by the study of somebody, so that you can, because that's what love looks like. When those scientists and those the paleontologists, I think those are the people that deal with the bones, the dinosaurs, right? Like, it is their love for fossils and all. There was a love that was first, right? And then they studied it because they loved it and they wanted to know more about it, right? When we get the gift of reading information that's already done, it's because somebody studied it. Right. They wrote it. They created it, right? And that's what, I can't believe we was over an hour. I didn't even realize we were over an hour.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm like,
girl, we've been talking. That's what's good.
You just go where it flows. Energy goes, energy flows. If it's long, it's short, hey, we just
I'm like, I'm just going.
Yeah,
I have been holding you guys hostage with our thoughts.
They could. You see, some people release themselves. They got
release yourself. You can go. Yeah, you can exit the finger up like the usher going out of the side door. But yeah, I think that you see. So I think this was a good topic for winning Wellthy Wednesday, right? So how are you winning, and how are you wealthy? Well, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because once I don't take it. But I'm gonna tell you why it releases you. Come on, boo. Nancy said, I'm still here. That part, boo. That part. So I think that the best part of the releasing is the being able to understand our processes. And that's what empathy is, right? Sympathy is I experience that thing, but empathy is I can see from where you are, not being there, not having experienced that before. I'm empathetic to your experiences, what made you perhaps react that way, right? Because we are learning to respond. I'm in my 40s and I'm learning to respond, right? Because it is a daily process of renewing your mind, because the more I renew my mind, the more I operate on a new vibration, on a new level. And so today definitely is going to have me operating. I hope it's going to have you guys who stayed in, tuned in to operating on a new level, because when he says study to show thyself approved, and the other commandment was give to receive, we always think it's about the money, but God said I'd rather a poor person who developed into their riches than a rich person who developed into being poor, because you misunderstand what wealth is all about. It's about the mindset. It's about the well. Because when Jesus found the woman who found herself unworthy, right? The whore in the Bible, let's say that, right? She was at the well. So you're at the well. And so that's what overflow looks like. You are mostly made of water. Water holds memory. In order to be well, you have to filter out the things that no longer serve you in order to be of service. Because as long as I'm taking it personal, I can't serve. Because now I'm like, well, who gonna serve me? Or what? I do this all the time. Nobody gonna do for me. That's not what service is about. It's going because that is the assignment. And it's hard to do because we are human. But once we understand that studying to show thyself approved and giving to receive is being to others what you always want for yourself, even when somebody else has ruined it for somebody else. We got to stop letting people ruin it for somebody else, because we have to forgive the moment. We have to understand that everybody is learning a lesson, because God is so amazing that it's not just one person learning in the lesson, that it is everybody has their own separate lesson to learn. And I got this shirt that says, why you minding God's business, #10 to you. You got to worry about you. And that means be about the business that pays you. And that's the investment of time, right? Because money is time. You are money. You got to spend your time in valuable ways in order to not find yourself depleted to then be deleted, right? And deleted. So it is hard, but that's what wealthy is all about. So yeah. So that's what it's all about. So life is about being intentional. And so this has been an amazing conversation. I'm so glad that God used us on today, because honey, we done dropped some gems. Yes, I done piggyback off of you. You piggyback off of me. And that's what happens when you have coffee and conversations. You sit down and you share, because the best thing you leave is your thoughts in this world. Whether you can put it in a book, right? Whether you can change your reality, whatever it is, it's about you renewing your mind daily so that you can filter out the things that don't no longer serve you, so that you can continue to be in service. That is your responsibility. The ability of measurement in which you can respond. You gotta remember that. You gotta remember that. We're definitely not gonna end without a card since it's been such a good kind. Oh, Kia, actually pick one of these things to read. Okay. Let me check out real quick.
Let's do. We gonna get a word out the book, y'all. All right. I ain't gonna look, and I'm gonna just flip to a page. What we came up with? Justice. Okay. Will there be justice? All right. Let's read. My friends, do not try to punish others when they wrong you, but wait for God to punish them with his anger. It is written, I will punish those who do wrong. I will repay them, says the Lord. Romans 12:19. He is the rock. His works are perfect. All his ways are right. He is faithful. He doesn't do anything wrong. He is honest and fair. Deuteronomy 32:4. The Lord secures justice for the poor and upholds the cause of the needy. Psalms 140:12. There is joy for those who deal justly with others and always do what is right.
Stop. I'm telling you, God is so intentional for us to be speaking about justice. Because justice is fairness. And as we spoke over this hour about winning Wellthy Wednesday, Wellthy, that well, that we were talking about being just. That's what justice is about. Hearing somebody else and making sure that we respect from where they're standing so that they feel heard and validated as well as you. That's what relationship means, relate, so the ship can move, which means you live in a constant state of justice. And when justice is served, they show the equal, right? That means it's balance. And so when you find justice in your heart, you find balance, and there lies peace. Because where there is peace, there is joy. Where there is justice, there is equality. Where there is equality, there is God, right? Because he has no respect of persons. He respects the person who respects the person he created, and that's you. So be just to yourself. Be real with yourself, and it's so much easy to be just with somebody else. You will impart upon them the same exact thing that you wish is imparted upon you when you are just a product of your environment. Sometimes when them kids get in trouble and you grab them up and you never go through the history, one of the most powerful testimonies my husband gave was going to support a friend that was going through a trial because he had a weapon. And he said the whole courtroom was in tears when people were speaking on his character. And then what they did was his special, amazing mom, who decided to be accountable for his reality, spoke and said, I blame me. And the reason I blame me is because I was on drugs at one time. I went through this at one time. He witnessed somebody being murdered. He witnessed this at this young age. He went from place to place. That I failed him, not that moment, and that the sum total of the experience that he had left him in this place. So if we're going to give justice, justice is about seeing the whole story. Understanding why people feel the need to be protected. Understanding why somebody would risk his freedom to feed his child. Understanding why some opportunities are easier than others. Is giving an equal understanding of the environment that they were bred up in, just to build a bridge to relate. So now you can offer them a solution, not demand a change. You hear me? You offer a solution. You don't demand a change. And to offer somebody something is to make them receptive to taking. Because if you just knock on somebody's door and try to give them a pack of cookies, they'll look like, who made it? They'll take it from the store-bought one, and they don't even know what kitchen it is and all that before they'll take it from a stranger, right? Because I don't know your name. But when you get a relationship with me and you relate to me, and I knock on Kia's door and I say, girl, I make these cookies, she don't even question if she wants to try it, if she wants to taste it, if she wants to actually make it a part of her reality, because she trusts me, because I related to her. I made myself vulnerable with my experiences in order to expose my scars so that she would feel normal in her scars, so that when I offered her something, she was willing to receive it, because she knows that you wanted to give me your best and you offered your worst in order for me to trust you at your best. And that is what relationships is about. It's about justice for all. I understand your plight. I now see your fight. So it makes sense that you think the way you think. And I was making it personal when I was just a part of your process. So when we give justice to each other, God processes us a little bit more, less vigorously, shall we say. So that's a word.
Vigorously. Come on now. There is joy for those who deal justly with others and always do what is right.
My God.
Psalms 106:3. God, you are the only judge. Remind me of this as I am sinking under the weight of the opinions of others.
Oh my God.
Whether I'm being misunderstood whether the assessment is accurate. Remind me. It is irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Remind me it is irrelevant. Don't. I wasn't even here when she put this page, y'all. God is in the midst. He said, remind me. You got to pray to God about the reminders. Sometimes you got to make him stop a thought in your head. I'm reacting. And it's irrelevant.
Why?
God Almighty.
Because only you get to decide who I am. Only you know my heart.
So I ain't got to prove no case. God, give them understanding in thine honor. You better start praying to God to clear their mind. Stop going back and forth with stuff that don't belong to you. It ain't your business. Give it to God.
Give it to God.
Give it to God.
Only you know my heart, Lord, and only you can change it. Help me to leave all my judgment with you.
That's amazing word.
So the question is, why is it better to let God be the judge?
With God Almighty. So your opinions is nothing more than judgment, and it ain't your place because you ain't the manufacturer of that there thing. So worry about your business and get out of God's business and be of service by studying to show thyself approved. They are all a God piece. So to understand them is to understand the role that they are on in the name. Wow. In his great name.
That was good.
That was a good word, girl. Justice for all. What is justice mean?
What a day. What a conversation.
What a conversation. I love coffee. This was good, baby, good. So, hey, we're going to pull this down because we about to get them baby backs. We got them baby backs for real. If you in the Charlotte area, got them baby back slabs for $4 a slab, $50 a case. Okay? We only got a few left. I know
Labor Day
is coming up. Family reunions is coming up.
Come on
now. You better get that case of pork. They are pork. I'm sorry.
Baby back.
Baby back pork. Good, meaty, amazing. In the Charlotte area, the case is $50. 12 slabs are in the case, or you can get $5 a slab. Restaurant style. Good. So this has been an amazing hour. We're going to get our IM for today, and we're going to get y'all out of here so that y'all can continue to make today great, or shall we say count. Okay, so what do you want to do the bonus card, Kia? There, that's it. So let's get these other ones out the way, and we're gonna get y'all I am for the day. And I want y'all to walk. And I mean walk it like you talk it. Walk it out. Walk it like you talk it. 1, 2, 3. I am divine. I am my yes. Oh, I love the yes. And I am, is that magnificent? Oh, magnificent. Come on, y'all.
That part.
Let's get this all the way up. And I'm going to get it because I know, can y'all see TikTok? I am my yes, I am divine, and I am magnificent. I want you guys to make sure that you are operating in that I am. Come on now. Come on, Nancy. Get that picture, boo. Get that picture so you can remind them of the I am of today. I am my yes, I am divine, and I am magnificent. Yes. And when you put all those 3 things together, guess what you get? He didn't call me.
My dad called me.
Oh, maybe because it's about to what's in there. Okay. I'm closing out right now. So remember, you've been tuned into Coffee and Conversations, where we don't compete, we complete. The difference between those 2 words is an L, because L stands for love, and love grows everything. Remember, it's a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print, because the fingerprint tells us what we got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what we got right. And what God got right is you. So remember that you've been tuned into Coffee and Conversations. Don't forget to wake up and make today count. Thank you for tuning in. We love, love, love you. Don't forget that you are divine, you are magnificent, and you are your yes. So operate in all of those when you have this winning Wellthy Wednesday. WELLTHY. Love grows everything. So don't forget to love yourself first. You've been tuned in to Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. Bye-bye.
Happy hump day.
I'm done.